Hello, everyone. I'm here today to share with you a little bit about what's happening with the situation with the coronavirus. This has really changed the way we practice immigration law. Our office is closed at the moment, but we are working remotely. So thank you for your understanding and patience. During this time, we are here for you. We are responding to emails. We're responding to your Facebook and Instagram. It may be a little delayed, but we're getting back to everybody. It's been a logistical, nightmare, but we are here and we're trying to work with you and for you. So what I decided to do is I decided to go over the frequently asked questions that we've been receiving during this time. This is not a comprehensive list, and this is also not in any particular sequence. I'm just going over with you what we've been getting on a daily basis from our clients. So I'm just going to compile them, and we'll be doing updates via Facebook, Instagram, and on our website as well. So this is something that is changing on a daily basis. So just work with us, and we'll be sharing as much information as we can. So I will start with some of the questions that we've gotten. So the first one is, what would happen to my biometrics appointment? I have an appointment to go get my fingerprints and take my picture, and I have either received a cancellation notice or I haven't received a cancellation notice. At this time, USCIS is canceling all appointments. So you will be getting a new one. So if you haven't gotten a cancellation notice as of yet, you will be getting one soon. So don't worry, you will be getting it. So as far as, if I don't show up, my case will be denied. Don't worry, because of the situation right now, your appointment will be rescheduled. Same goes with the interviews. You're excited, you're ready to go, you want to go get your green card, you have an appointment scheduled, and unfortunately, you get a cancellation notice. Now, if you haven't received a cancellation notice as of yet, what we are doing here at the office, if you're one of our clients, we are calling USCIS and confirming that interview has been canceled. It normally is canceled, but we want to give some reassurance to the client. So that applies to both of your biometrics and your interview. The next question is, when is my interview going to be rescheduled for? Or when is my fingerprint appointment going to be rescheduled for? I don't know. I don't know because the situation is changing on a daily basis, and we don't know when the government will be reopening for purposes of interviews and appointments. So yes, unfortunately, this will be a delay on your case. So that's important. Another question that I've been getting is, is USCIS going to be working on my case while this, basically shutdown is taking place, or, what's going to happen with my case? And the answer is, yes, USCIS is working on the cases. Unfortunately, I don't know how delayed your case is going to be, just because there's going to be a backlog at this point. But USCIS is open as far as processing the cases. So that's important. Another question that I've seen a lot is something that is really widespread in the community. It's the work authorization for F1 students. And it's true that there is an application that you can, based on economic hardship, that you can apply for a work permit. However, it's very important to know that you have to show that you're suffering hardship related to the coronavirus. And what does that mean? That means your mom, dad, sponsor, company that is paying for your studies here in the US has been affected by the coronavirus, so your business has closed down back home, and you're not able to transfer funds because you are suffering because your restaurant or your store has been closed. So in situations like that, then yes, USCIS is allowing for F1s to obtain a work authorization. But it's a very limited, narrow scope. I've seen YouTube videos, I've seen people commenting on this as if it's, oh yeah, you can get a work authorization. That's not the case. That's not the case. You have to show hardship. In fact, this is not a new law. This has been the case forever. We've done work authorizations based on economic hardship. Now, what USCIS is doing is saying, well, if you are suffering hardship related to the coronavirus, then this is one additional basis for you to apply for the work authorization. So that's why it's important to note that this is not a free-for-all. Let's say you're violating your immigration status by working, and you say, well, I cannot go work at a restaurant, or I cannot drive Uber or Lyft at this point. That's not what this work authorization is all about, because you're not supposed to be working here, period. So what we have to document is that in your home country, you have financial hardship. So that's important. So be careful with the source of information you're using, because it's widespread. People are just thinking that it's no big deal, that it's easy to get a work authorization. And in fact, it's not easy. The same goes with the fee waiver. On the USCIS website, there's the information for applying for the work authorization based on the economic hardship. And if you're able to document that, you can also apply for a fee waiver, meaning you don't have to pay the fee for the work permit. Again, that has to be tied with the financial situation you're facing because of the coronavirus. You cannot say, well, I'm not working, my job has laid me off, and I'm not supposed to be working here, and now I don't have the funds or the means to pay for the filing fee. So be careful with what you say to USCIS. It's just, you're giving information to USCIS, and if you're giving information that shows that you've been violating your status, that can be a problem for you in the future. So that's important. Another question I have. So let's say you're here on H-1B, or you are here on a work authorization. You have a green card application. Let's use this example. You're here with your green card application pending, and you have a work permit. So you're here working legally. Well, if that's the case, you're laid off, you can apply for unemployment. That's not public benefits. If you look at your pay stub, you have deductions from the EDD that shows that income is, that you're paying basically in that fund. So unemployment is not public benefit. Of course, if you have a question about that, just give us a call. If you're one of our clients and you want to make sure that you are applying for something that you are entitled to, just let us know. But yes, unemployment is okay. Now, if you're here as a tourist and you're here on a B1, B2, and your flight has been canceled and you cannot make it on time for your expiration date, we'll put on our website the link to the I-94 so you can check the date you're supposed to leave by. But at this point, what we are recommending to our clients is to really apply for an extension of status and use the coronavirus and the cancellation from the airline as proof that you tried to leave and you had your ticket back, but unfortunately, because of the current situation, you can't. So the coronavirus now and the cancellation from the airlines and all the logistical nightmare that we are dealing with because of the situation, now they are basis for an extension. So be safe and do that. When it comes to the people who are here on a visa waiver program, which is the ESTA, you cannot do an extension of status. You cannot do, like the B1s and B2s. For people like those, we can help you communicate with deferred inspections from the CBP. And then we can get what's called satisfactory departure, meaning we can show that you've made arrangements and because of the emergency you can't leave, and we'll work with you. CBP is very reasonable when it comes to that. It's not necessarily an extension, but like an extension of status where you can get 6 more months or you can get 3 more months or whatever time that you need to leave based on the circumstances. But we can actually work with CBP so that way you're not in violation of your ESTA. So you can, this is something that we can definitely help you with here at the office. What else we got? We got a lot of questions here. So I already discussed with you what to do if your visa is your I-94 is going to expire. I told you about, this is a good one. Can you file new cases with USCIS? The answer is yes. USCIS is up and running. They might be running slower, but they're up and running. So let's say you're filing an e-visa, you're filing a change of status, extension of status, whatever that may be, we can file your cases. Now, this is the good news. Now, the bad news. The bad news is some cases, as you know, you can file what's called premium processing. That's a way to pay to get ahead of the line. You would pay $1,440 and your case would be processed in 15 days. Not 15 business days, but just 15 days. So I call it legalized bribe. Unfortunately, this program has been suspended. So for the people who were here and wanted to have the decision in 15 days, that might be something that you have to take in consideration, whether or not you're going to stay, whether you're going to do the process back home, because that 15-day immediate thing that we had is no longer an option, unfortunately. So that's, the good news is, yes, they are accepting your cases. The negative part is, unfortunately, the premium processing program is suspended until further notice. And when is that notice going to be? We don't know. This is a fluid situation. Every day there's different news. And again, that's why we're going to be doing these videos to update you. And that's why we're going to be doing Facebook Lives and Instagram Lives, so you are on the loop of what's happening. But as of now, I do not know when the premium processing program will return. On the plus side of this whole changes, one good thing is that USCIS is now accepting electronic signatures. Welcome, to electronic signature. They're finally getting there. So that's a good thing. It will save time from clients going to the post office, mailing things to us. It also will help the logistics as our office, because as I've mentioned, we are physically closed, but we are open and running remotely from our homes. So you'll be able to, we'll send you the forms, you'll sign it electronically, scan, or send it back to us, and USCIS will honor electronic signature. So that's a plus. That's very, very important. Now, going to visa applications, we have a lot of clients overseas. We have a lot of clients who are waiting for their green card interviews or for their O's and their P's and their L's overseas. Unfortunately, the Department of State has closed the consulates around the world. In every day, there are more changes in regards to that. So I'm not even going to go over which countries or, if you have an appointment, basically it's canceled. Again, when the appointments are going to be rescheduled for, we do not know. But if you do have an appointment, if you haven't received your cancellation notice, you'll be receiving it shortly. So, the O's, the B's, the P's, the EB1s, EB2s, unfortunately, they are not, at this time, they are not being scheduled at the consular level. So just like the cancellations for USCIS, we are seeing cancellations for the DOS as well. The DOS meaning the Department of State. So USCIS is here in the US, the Department of State is where you get your visas overseas. And unfortunately, no update for you or when the appointments are going to be reopened or rescheduled. There's a question here about borders, Canada, Mexico. We have several countries like Australia, New Zealand. They have restrictions. So, I'm not going to go over. It's a quite extensive list, and every day there are changes to this list. But it's important to note that several countries have closed their borders. So that affects our travel as well. And finally here, let's say you're on an H-1B, okay, and suddenly you're laid off because your company cannot do business during this time. USCIS is reasonable. Most cases, most types of visas, you have a grace period to leave the country, but we also can do a change of status. So let's say you're on an H-1B and you need time to give your apartment back, sell your car, make arrangements to go back home. You can do a change of status from H-2B. And we'll be able to help you get that extended time to get your affairs in order. So These are important questions. As I said, this is a very brief summary because I could go on and talk about this for 2 hours with you. But I think giving you a big overview of what's happening will really help you with information. And I would like to thank you for your patience during this time, your understanding during this time. It's very important that we maintain our communication. And again, you can email us your questions and concerns. And finally, as I've said before, I will be updating our Facebook page, our Instagram. We will also be updating our website. The more information we can share, we'll share with you.